everybody, my name is ALISA coming at you from hobbykr.com with another video. Finally, after another week of resting, I am back with what I talked about in my end of year video, which is a weekly anime review. So we're gonna start with the winter season and I'm gonna be covering 5 anime every week, talking about the episodes and what happened. I have my laptop here for notes, so if you see me looking down, that is why. But without any further ado, let's begin. So the anime that I chose to watch for the winter season is Darwin's Game, Pet, Eid, or ID I guess, but they pronounce it Eid in the anime, Bang Dream Season 3 of course, and 22/7, 22/7. I'm not entirely sure how it's pronounced yet, but that's what I'm going to be watching. The first 3 are darker and kind of more story driven, so I really like that. I love angsty stuff. And then we have Bang Dream, which obviously I have to watch. And 22/7 I'm choosing not because I care about the idol group, I mean I might once I start watching it, but because the illustrations, the character design looks gorgeous, and I was just looking at the illustrations and they look so beautiful, so I really want to watch it. The animation looks like it's going to be good as well, but that doesn't start until next week, so today we're going to talk about just the first 4. So let's begin with the first episode I watched, I guess on Sunday, Darwin's Game. So I'm excited for this. It's a survival game style anime. It has an interesting premise. Overall, I think it's a strong premise. I'm excited to see where it goes, but I did have some kind of qualms with it. First of all, I think the animation was not stellar, neither was the character design, and the gang storyline. So it seems like there's going to be 2 main storylines. First, like the game itself, and then I guess the gang that is behind the game. The gang storyline seems like it's gonna be kind of boring, so I'm not super looking forward to that. And also, if you watch the ending, or I guess it's gonna be the opening, but this week it was the ending, is Steve Jobs gonna be the mastermind? That definitely is inspired by Steve Jobs. That's all I'm gonna say. I did very much like the very start of the episode. It felt very cinematic, really interesting. I thought the pace was really good and the music was really great as well. I like that the main character seems quite competent. I'm really excited to see how or if he is going to have any development. One thing I didn't like is that it's also just the first episode and we already have a female main character that is obsessed with the main character after like 20 minutes of knowing him, a la Mirai Nikki. Really reminded me of that. Overall, I think it's going to be mediocre. That's my expectation for it this season. The next anime that I watched this week was Pet, episode 1. This was so good. I really didn't write anything that I disliked aside from the animation not being super great and that the pacing was a little bit strange. I thought that the episode didn't flow super well, especially at the very end. I don't know if you guys noticed as well, the episode just like cut, ending. It was really awkward and weird. But aside from that, I loved the first episode. Really interesting, really intriguing. I know Pet is like a well-known manga. Yeah, just disclaimer, I haven't read any of the manga for any of these animes, so if they are famous and if you feel superior to me because you have read the manga, you are. I really liked the opening, loved it. So obviously if you heard it, it is sung by TK, who is also the singer of Unravel, which is like one of the most well-known anime openings of like recent history. I loved it. So angsty, just so angsty. I relished every second of that opening. Definitely not gonna be skipping that next episode. And overall, the atmosphere of the anime just seems very angsty and I'm so here for it. I really like sad, depressing themes in anime and I'm looking forward to seeing how they are going to like really just blow our minds with fucked up shit the whole season. Next was the first and second episodes of Eid or ID or whatever. Really interesting, really liked this anime as well. Really strong first and second episode. I don't quite like the character design, but it is nice, it is different. I feel like Pet and Darwin's Game have kind of like a generic, not really any style that is like, that you could point out or kind of like reference, but Eid has its own very distinct style, so I did enjoy that. Animation wasn't amazing, but just the visuals were really, really great. When they were in the well, I thought that was really well executed, and the way the buildings and the pieces came together was really cool. And I really like the area where they were taking care of the investigation. I thought that was like a really cool setup. And as always, although obviously the mystery of the episode was very interesting, what I'm most intrigued about and what I want to know the most of is like the main character's life. So spoiler alert, this video is gonna have a lot of spoilers, but at the end when we find out that the detective he's in prison himself, so that implies that he is a criminal himself. I'm very interested in that, and I'm very interested in seeing kind of like the dynamics between the workers in the whatever facility that they work in. Something else I wanted to say about Eid is that, so when I saw John Walker, the character, although the design was interesting, and I don't know yet why it is John Walker or why they chose John Walker. So obviously John Walker is the maker of the whiskey Johnny Walker, and I Wikipedia'd it after it, and he's pretty much just like a grocer. So like, he was just a dude that started making whiskey. He's not really like a super relevant historical figure aside from his name being really well known because of the whiskey. It feels out of place to me. Obviously, I don't know what larger part it's gonna play in the story, and it's obvious that it's something very important, but just the name John Walker being mentioned and kind of like the figure and like the style of John Walker, it kind of put me off. It feels, to me, it takes me out of the immersion that I had felt in the anime. It makes me take the anime a little bit less serious, but obviously it's only episode 2, so I don't know what's gonna happen, but it just made me feel like, for example, Fate, obviously, which is one of my favorite franchises, but I feel like Fate has accepted its ridiculousness in its use of historical figures. Like Leonardo da Vinci is like a beautiful woman with giant boobs, and so is every other character. But I feel like Fate, that's kind of like the thing of Fate, the ridiculousness of them using historical figures and like bastardizing them. And even though Eid is not bastardizing John Walker, not that I know him or anything, it felt like that to me. It just felt a little goofy to have him be John Walker. If you know more about John Walker or why it's being used in Eid, well, if you've read the manga, you probably do know more. Let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear. But that was just one thing that put me off and kind of like threw me out of the immersion. And last but not least, definitely not to me, was, I don't need notes for this, the first episode of Bang Dream. So the first episode comes out in Japan on January 23rd, but in streaming websites in the States or wherever else, and also in Korea, which is where I watched it on TV, it came out on the 7th. So first of all, initial is such a good opening. I just feel, it makes me so hype. I really like the visuals, I really like the song. When Kasumi like talks directly to the camera at the end of the opening, it's just so great. And I mean, the episode, nothing much happened. I really don't like Choo. I really don't like her character. I don't like the English phrases. I don't like the attitude. She's very immature. And I know that's kind of the point of the character, but as it was with very Ras-centric and very Choo-Choo-centric, I really don't like the character. So I'm looking forward for her to evolve, just so it's not too much of a strain for me, because she appeared so much and I really don't want her to be the focal point. I really like that Masuki and Pareo got more airtime, because I really like both of them. Overall, the episode was exciting. I mean, finally we get to see how Roka was scouted into Ras. It was just a nice episode. I just feel like no matter what happens, I'm gonna enjoy it. But I'm looking forward to seeing which songs are gonna be included in this season and when I'm going to cry, because I know it is impending that I will indeed cry. Overall, it was a great episode. I want the plot to move forward a little bit more, but loved it. So thank you so much for watching if you watched this whole video. If you are watching these animes as well, please let me know your opinion down below. I would love to know what you thought, what you're looking forward to, and if there's an anime this season that you think I should watch, let me know. It's still early, I can still start watching one, but so far these were the only ones that piqued my attention. Sorry if the reviews were a little bit general. I've never done a video like this before, so I'm not sure how it's going to evolve, but I hope that my commentary can be a little bit more insightful in the future. But frankly, I feel like none of the episodes really gave me too much to say, just because it was the first episodes of all of them, so we were just starting to scratch the surface on what's actually going to be happening. As always, don't forget to go to hobbykr.com for more anime content, and until next week, goodbye.